Is Indiana a good state to live? Well, that is all depending upon your personal preferences, of course, but if you have certain lifestyle preferences, career opportunities, and personal interests, Indiana could be a great state to live in. And it's centrally located, kind of the midpoint of the Midwest, right? So let's talk about it a little bit. Indiana has affordable cost of living in comparison to other states. So there are a lot of affordable housing options around the state, depending on where you live. Now, if you're looking in some of the exclusive suburbs of Indianapolis, like Fishers, Carmel, Westfield, probably not going to be as affordable as some other little smaller towns around Indianapolis or around the state. Bloomington's also another place that doesn't have the most affordable housing options. But aside from those things, the property taxes are relatively low compared to other states, and even the rental prices. Now, Bloomington is driven by Indiana University, so the rental prices are going to be higher there. But in some of the other cities around the state, the rental prices are going to be pretty affordable. And your overall expenses, such as utilities, groceries, and healthcare costs, are going to be generally lower than the national average. The employment opportunities. There is a diverse economy in Indiana, and it's got strong sectors in manufacturing, engineering, agriculture, healthcare, and education. Unemployment rate is typically lower than the national average, with many job opportunities in the larger cities such as Fort Wayne, Indianapolis, Bloomington, West Lafayette, things like that. Indiana is the home of many large universities such as Indiana University in Bloomington, Purdue University in West Lafayette, and Notre Dame. There's a lot of really great, well-rated schools around Indiana, and they offer various options. So you can check the ratings of the different schools out on niche.com, and you can zero in on the town that you're looking at and find the school ratings for those if you're looking for elementary through high school. If you love outdoor recreation, Indiana has got some great outdoor recreation, with Hoosier National Forest being in the southern part of the state. It's one of the largest forests, and we have a lot of lakes, hiking trails, all of the outdoor adventures. So Lake Monroe is in Bloomington and is the largest man-made lake in the state. There's also Lake Wawasee, which is one of the largest natural lakes in Syracuse, Indiana, which is northwest of Bloomington, about 3 hours. And Lake Wawasee is absolutely amazing. I've been there many times, and this clip is from Thunder Run, which is all the people that own restored Chris Craft boats all get together on Lake Wawasee. There's a ton of them, and every Sunday morning during the summer at 10 a.m. they take a ride around the perimeter of the lake, and all the people come out on the docks to wave and see it, because it's really a cool sight. And you will see many different types of restored Chris Craft boats. It's really a cool thing. So that's kind of fun. But also Brown County State Park, which is by Nashville, Indiana, is one of the largest state parks in Indiana, if not the largest. So you definitely want to check that out. It has amazing leaves in the fall, and people from all over the country flock to Nashville in the fall to see the changing of the leaves. But it's also it's an artist community and a tourist hotspot. So there's lots of restaurants and bed and breakfasts and shopping of little tiny town galleries and handmade items in Nashville. So that's a place looking at. Anyway, they have Paoli Peaks, which is a winter snow sports. So you can go skiing there or snowboarding. You can also go tubing there. And it's just kind of a phenomenon in Indiana, right? To have an actual place where you can go snow skiing. So there's a lot of things to do, too many to mention in this video, but if you like the outdoors, Indiana's got, oh, and I didn't even mention Indiana Dunes, which is up by Lake Michigan. And it's a very cool place that people love to go to the state park there. And there's a beach and hiking trails and all the things. So you definitely want to keep that in mind. Indiana hosts a ton of music festivals and just festivals in general. Bloomington is full of festivals, especially in the summertime and in the fall. So it's kind of a mecca for festivals, as well as they have the Covered Bridge Festival around southern Indiana, and they're in different locations that you can go see the artists and their wares, as well as the covered bridges. So that's kind of cool if you like that. And of course, sports, we've got the Indianapolis Colts and a lot of major sports teams, the Indiana Fever, the women's basketball, and those are my two favorites. So, but there's plenty of other sports besides that. And let's not forget the legendary Indianapolis 500 that is every Memorial Day weekend for all you race fans. Besides that, and you'll have college sports also, the Indiana Hoosiers, which are out of Bloomington, as well as the Purdue Boilermakers out of Lafayette, and those are rivalry teams, so there's a lot of really dedicated fans to that. And of course, Southern Indiana is known for its basketball. So basketball is like nothing else in Indiana. So if you enjoy basketball, you will enjoy living here. And because of Indiana's central location, it's very close to Cincinnati and Louisville and Chicago, Dayton, not too far from Columbus, Ohio, and 4 hours from St. Louis. So it's really kind of in the middle of all that. And it's, 4 hours to Chicago. This is from Bloomington. 4 hours to Chicago, 4 hours to St. Louis, 2 hours to Cincinnati, 3 hours to Dayton. So if you need to get to those major cities, it's really not that far. And then of course, the Indianapolis International Airport is the #1 mid-size airport in the country for ease of operation, meaning that you can get in and get out really quickly. So that's a really good thing. And Indianapolis Airport is never really overcrowded. So it's really easy to go in, grab a flight, get out, come back, and no big deal there. So that's something to keep in mind as well. Now, some things that you might not have thought of are the weather. We kind of have extreme weather in Indiana. So we have really hot summers, very humid, nothing like Florida, but they are hot and humid in the summer, and then we have cold winters. Now, the past couple of years, it hasn't been as cold, and we haven't had the snowfall like we normally do, but Indiana can get very snowy and icy. We just haven't had that the last couple of years. Climate change has had something to do with it, I'm sure, but anyway, you might not like those extremes in the temperatures. We are 4 seasons in Indiana, so you want to keep that in mind. There is also limited public transportation in Indiana. You will need a car to survive here unless you move to a small town. Bloomington has public transportation, but it's just really for around town, the same as Indianapolis. Indianapolis, you cannot go out to the suburbs with public transportation, and we do not have railway systems here. So that's something to keep in mind. It's nothing like Chicago where you can get on the L or some of these other bigger cities. So you will need a car. And traffic, it's pretty congested here around Indianapolis. It's very congested. There's 465, which goes around the town, but it's usually at a standstill at rush hour. And Bloomington, because Bloomington is such a small town and it's populated more by college students than actual town residents, it gets very congested during sporting events and other things that the university has going on. And because it started out as such a small town, it's just 2-lane roads all around it. So there's that to consider. Now, if you're going to Lafayette or Fort Wayne, it's a little bit different. Something like that, Evansville, it's very different. So you want to check those places out. And of course, in some of the rural areas, there's higher poverty rates because of fewer job opportunities. So you want to check that out as well. So Indiana offers a mix of quality of life, job opportunities, and affordability. It can be very appealing for families, individuals seeking a slower pace of someplace like Chicago or New York City. It's definitely a slower pace here. Keep in mind factors like weather, transportation, cultural diversity, on your personal preferences and lifestyle needs. If you value a lower cost of living, good educational opportunities, and plenty of outdoor activities, Indiana might be the place you need to consider. So check out my videos on Bloomington and some of the other small towns around southern Indiana. I will see you next time.